Good afternoon. Welcome to the Recovering Perfectionist Mama Grace in Progress podcast. I'm Buffy. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Happy to have you. To give you a little bit of information about me, I'm using the same username, recovering_perfectionist_mama on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. All of these offer women's lifestyle topics such as fitness and nutrition, motherhood, marriage, self-empowerment, self-improvement, biohacking, cycle syncing, as well as other life hacks. So if you're interested in that, feel free to give us a follow. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you. Nice to have you back again today. So today we are going to talk about the first year of Parenthood Survival Guide. That's what it's titled, the 4th trimester. So for those of you that have been in those trenches, you realize how difficult, how hard, and how lonely and isolating that time of your life can be. Because ultimately, if it's your first child, we don't know what we don't know, right? We don't understand how fast time is going to go. We don't understand how much work it is actually going to be. But it's also a blessing too, because it's amazing to see these little humans as they grow and they progress and they learn something new. It seems like every day, every second almost. So it's a beautiful journey. We just got to hang on for the rough parts and appreciate and have gratitude for the good parts. They say the first year of parenthood is beautiful chaos. But what they don't tell you is that it can also feel like survival mode on repeat. Between the sleep deprivation, the identity shift, and trying to keep your relationship from running on fumes, it's no wonder so many new moms feel like they're barely hanging on. Today, we're getting real about the first year, your physical recovery, emotional resilience, and how to protect your marriage through it all. Because ultimately, your marriage should be your foundation to help you conquer the first year of motherhood. The honest truth about the 4th trimester. The 4th trimester isn't about your baby adjusting to the world. It's about you adjusting to your new identity. Physically, hormonally, emotionally, you're in transition. And oftentimes transitions can be tough. They can be hard to navigate. And like I said earlier, you feel like you're alone. You don't know what you don't know. And you don't know who you can count on. You don't want to reach out because you don't want to feel stupid. All those things are kind of at play. And then your own self-doubts in your mind kind of telling you, you're not doing it right. You're not a very good mother. You're not this. You're not that. And then you have society looking at you and judging you. Oh, are you not nursing your baby? You're giving them formula? Why would you do that? Oh, you decided to use cloth diapers instead of regular diapers? Why would you do that? You let them cry it out, or you don't let them cry it out. You're attached parenting. Why would you do that? You're spoiling the child. Let them cry it out. All sorts of things. As they say, everyone has an opinion, but we do not have to listen to everyone's opinion because ultimately we know what's best for our baby. Women's instincts are spot on most of the time. So let's normalize that you don't have to bounce back. It's okay not to. Most of us don't. I remember my first child, I gained like 80 pounds and it took me forever to bounce back. But I also had 5 children in the span of 12 years. So that also kind of helped things, I guess, along for not bouncing back. Healing is the priority, not appearances. Let's talk about a good tip here. Treat recovery like rehab. You wouldn't rush a broken bone. Don't rush your body or your emotions. Create a postpartum power hour once a day, a non-negotiable 60 minutes where you rest, shower, eat something nourishing, or just breathe. Let's talk about physical recovery and real talk on that. Vaginal versus C-section recovery. Each comes with unique challenges, but the goal is the same, gentle consistency. I remember when I had my 3rd son, he was actually taken to NICU because they thought he had a heart issue. And they thought he had like some sort of breathing issue, but they didn't have the equipment at the hospital to be able to keep him there. So I remember when they said to me that he was going to go downstairs and be monitored for a while. And if my C-section medicine would wear off, then I could go see him. If not, they had contacted an ambulance and they were going to escort him, or essentially drive him via ambulance to another hospital that was about an hour away, a larger hospital. And I remember asking, well, what about me? And my OB said, well, actually, you're not going to be a patient of that hospital. He is. And what's funny is he did go to NICU and he was 10 pounds, 4 ounces, which was crazy because all the other babies were smaller and, all sorts of things. And that hospital was extremely, extremely strict. But my doctor was like, I want you to check in on your health, make sure you're okay. And literally every time I was trying to nurse my son, they'd be like, well, what are you doing? He's on a strict 3-hour schedule. He's, and it's just this rigmarole. And we had to leave every night at 8 p.m. We had to get a hotel room in another city, and so we could see our son. And we spent as much time with him as we could. And he stayed for 4 days. And the doctor had given a guarantee that he wouldn't have jaundice, which my doctor, my pediatrician, actually called and said, yeah, your 100% guarantee was bunk. He did end up with jaundice. So he needed another day in the hospital, locally, thank goodness. But all of that to say that particular day, when I was discharged the following day, because the doctor gave me the go ahead, which he's like, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to because you have to see your baby. You got to be with your baby. I was walking the mall to get something like a, kind of a binder or something to help my stomach because it was my 3rd C-section. And I remember the lady saying, oh, what are you here for? I'm like, oh, I need and I told her. And she was like, you just had a baby yesterday and you're walking the mall? Mama's got to do what a mama's got to do, right? So all that to say, we have so many things going on. And oftentimes as mothers, especially new mothers, we have that instinct to not focus on us, to focus on what needs to be done. But don't worry, my children's pediatrician looked at me because my husband's like, oh, she's so strong. You should have seen her. And she glared at me and she's like, you are lucky that you did not harm yourself, because that was not a smart decision on your part. Well, I know, but I got to do what I got to do, right? So like I said, physical recovery. So that was talking about my physical recovery in my particular case, my 3rd pregnancy. And was I very smart to do that? No, I wasn't. I'll admit that now. But at the time, you got to do what you got to do. So let's talk about tips for C-section, or tips for recovery. Move lightly but daily. Even 5-minute walks aid circulation and mood. I never understand the people that just are like, oh, I'm just going to lay in bed. This is a vacation. Because clearly laying in bed is torture, especially for me. No, I did not like to lay in bed. I wanted to shower immediately and get up and get moving. Fuel with purpose. Focus on protein, healthy fats, and hydration. Your body's rebuilding tissue and hormones. Pelvic floor care. If something feels off, it probably is. Seek pelvic floor therapy early. Ask for help early and often. Physical healing happens faster when mental stress is lower. Mindset reminder, you're not behind, you're healing from creation. Isn't that a beautiful thought? Sleep deprivation survival. I am not good at this, so I will be listening to these tips, which I will not be having more children, but nonetheless. Sleep deprivation is one of the top reasons new moms spiral emotionally. Shift the goal. Don't chase long sleep. Chase quality micro rest. Actionable sleep hacks. Tag team approach. One partner gets a 4 to 5 hour block while the other handles feeds. Rotate. Create a nap window instead of a nap time. Give yourself a 2-hour window to rest instead of strict times. Darken your room during naps. Mimic nighttime for better rest quality. Lower stimulation after 7 p.m. Dim lights, quiet music, no scrolling. Cue your body for recovery. Partner participation. If you're breastfeeding, have your partner handle diaper changes or burping. You feed, they reset. Quick perspective. Sleep deprivation is temporary. It won't always be like this, but support will make or break your sanity. Protecting your marriage foundation. The 4th trimester can shake even the strongest relationships. Well, with our first pregnancy, our son had to be airlifted because he stopped breathing. And our daughter, number 2, also did the same thing. So That was a very tense time because he and I were so like scared and upset. I would check on my son like 20, 30 times a day because I just felt, like when he was sleeping, like I would just have to touch him and just feel and make sure that he was breathing. Like that's how stressful it was. So I completely understand like the fourth trimester being tough and people being overwhelmed because I remember being in the trenches and it was difficult. And we were at each other sometimes just because we both were so stressed and so scared. Protect your connection from turning into a transaction. Actionable strategies. Weekly 10-minute check-in. No fixing, just listening. One talks, one listens. Divide responsibilities with compassion, not competition. Ask, what do you need more of this week? Schedule micro moments of affection. A 10-second hug lowers cortisol. Eye contact rebuilds connection. Talk about identity shifts. You're both becoming new people. Name it. Don't fight it. Protect date nights, even if they're at home. Light a candle, order takeout, put the baby down, and just be together. Mantra, you're not failing your marriage. You're building a new version of it. You don't need to do it all perfectly. No one does. You just need to stay present and keep choosing love for your baby, your partner, and for yourself. The fourth trimester is hard because you're growing too. Give yourself peace. You're not behind. You're becoming. If this episode gave you perspective or comfort, share it with a new mom who needs to hear she's not alone. Subscribe for weekly episodes that help women grow stronger, calmer, and more connected, even in the messy middle of motherhood. Again, if you want to reach out to me on social media, I'm recovering_perfectionist_mama on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And also, I do more than weekly podcasts here. Just trying to get things going and enjoying it and diving into these topics with you all. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you'll come back and see me real soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.